Mike Tyson is one of the most infamous final bosses in the entire history of video games. Beating Iron Mike in the game felt as difficult as beating the real man in the boxing ring. Mike Tyson is one of those sports celebrities that is so famous, people who don't know boxing would still know who he is, and by that same token, you don't need to like boxing to enjoy Mike Tyson's Punch-Out for the NES. Instead of being a technically accurate representation of the sport, Punch-Out features fun cartoonish characters and fast arcade-style gameplay. That arcade gameplay stems from the fact that Punch-Out started in the arcade. Nintendo had tremendous success with its Donkey Kong arcade game, but as that success waned over the years, Nintendo sold fewer Donkey Kong cabinets, but their purchasing department kept buying video monitors at the same rate. With warehouses full of surplus monitors, Nintendo tasked its Integrated Research and Development Division with creating a game that utilized 2 monitors instead of the usual 1. The IRD division was led by Genyo Takada, one of Nintendo's greatest developers. He had worked on Nintendo's very first arcade game, EVR Race, and would later go on to create the Star Tropics series. Designing a game to utilize dual screens in 1983 was no small task. My modern computer runs noticeably slower with a second screen connected. After abandoning an idea to make a dual-screen racing game, Takada came up with the idea of boxing. He was always interested in the North American market, and boxing was very popular there in the 80s before the advent of mixed martial arts. The bottom screen would focus on the in-ring action, while the top screen contained information like the player's health and win-loss record. The game also featured digitized speech, and a new sprite scaling technology that allowed characters to be enlarged without a loss in graphical quality. This is very similar to the Mode 7 effect used frequently on the Super Nintendo. To design the characters, Takada worked with another of Nintendo's rising stars. You probably know him as the creator of a couple little game franchises, Super Mario Bros. And The Legend of Zelda. Of course, I'm talking about the legendary Shigeru Miyamoto. Takada and Miyamoto were like the Nintendo Dream Team, and the arcade version of Punch-Out was a huge success. Fans wanted more, and they followed it up with Super Punch-Out, not to be confused with the Super Nintendo game of the same name, although these two look surprisingly similar for games released an entire decade apart. Nintendo moved its focus away from the arcades and looked to the home market in the mid-80s, so Takada's team had to figure out how to port their technically advanced dual-screen arcade game to the much weaker single-screen NES. Instead of the large wireframe character from the arcade version, the player character on the NES was made small so you could clearly see your opponent. It turned out that seeing a little guy beat up a much larger one was very satisfying, and players liked being the underdog. He was given a backstory of being a 17-year-old street fighter, and Little Mac was born. Nintendo of America's president at the time, Minoru Arakawa, had randomly seen a Mike Tyson fight and was extremely impressed with the speed and power of the young fighter. At the time, Tyson was a rising star, but wasn't a champion yet. Nintendo took a chance and licensed Iron Mike to be the final boss in the NES version of Punch-Out for only about $50,000. In the time it took to develop the game, Tyson had become the biggest name in boxing and won multiple titles. As the game neared completion, his record was 31 wins and 0 losses. For the 1987 Japanese release, Nintendo gave away 10,000 special gold cartridges to players that had the top score on a golf game for the Famicom Disk System. The game was a big hit, and the players that missed out on the limited edition release wondered if Nintendo would come out with a retail version. They did just a few months later, but with one big addition. Super Macho Man was the final boss on the gold cartridge, but the retail release allowed players to go toe-to-toe with Mike Tyson in the Dream Fight. The NES release was massively popular and spawned two sequels, one on the Super Nintendo and the other on the Wii. Over time, Punch-Out has been one of Nintendo's most popular game franchises. IGN listed it as number 7 on their top 100 NES games of all time, and I must agree that it belongs in the top 10. Little Mac would even appear in Super Smash Bros., cementing his place in NES history. Nintendo's contract with Tyson only lasted 3 years, and with the negative press surrounding his messy divorce and the fact that a new contract would cost way more than $50,000, they replaced him in the game with Mr. Dream and changed the title to just Punch-Out. Mr. Dream is exactly the same as Tyson in all ways except for his appearance, which looks like Vanilla Ice on steroids. Whether you're fighting Tyson or Mr. Dream, few gamers have ever been able to complete this difficult task. Tyson starts the fight with a barrage of haymakers that will knock out Little Mac in a single hit. If you lose to Tyson, you don't even get an opportunity for a rematch. He sends you straight into retirement. Considering that Mac probably only weighs 110 pounds soaking wet, he's lucky to be alive after a fight with Iron Mike.
One punch, that's all it took. He hit me in my ribs and my inside shook. Now how can I say this and be a little discreet? Let's just say that my bowels released.
In modern times, players can find Punch-Out on the NES Classic Mini or included on the Switch's online service. Beating this game is no small feat. Unlike the later entries in the series, the fighters in the NES version of Punch-Out attack with a lot of randomness, and the only way to win is to recognize their attacks and counter them with split-second reflexes. But what if I told you how to identify and counter the attacks of all 14 opponents? What if I told you the secret to getting the power stars needed to execute Mac's super uppercuts? And what if I told you a strategy you can use to finally defeat Tyson and become the world video boxing champion? On today's episode of You Can Beat Video Games, we'll learn all of that and more. If you're new to the channel, we're doing deep dives on retro video games and giving you the professional strategies that can be used by the casual gamer. Make sure to subscribe and click the bell for notifications so you don't miss any new videos. Let's get started. Alright, Mike Tyson's Punch-Out. So before we jump into the game, let's quickly go over the basics. The A button will throw a right body blow and the B button will throw a left, and if you hold up while punching, you'll attack your opponent's face instead. Pressing left or right will make Mac dodge to the side, and the key to defeating the more challenging fighters is to wait for them to attack you, dodge it, and then this will give you an opening to attack. Every attack that your opponent does will have a unique animation, so watching them carefully will alert you as to when you need to dodge and how you can counterattack. Personally, I always dodge to the left side, and that has never been a problem for me. As you play, you'll be training your muscle memory, so these moves will become a reflex for you. Most players will not be very good at this game until they've had some practice. There are a few more things I should mention before we go on. Pressing down on the control pad will allow you to block an opponent's punch, but this should only be used for fast jabs or other attacks that are hard to dodge. Blocking depletes your hearts, as does getting hit by your opponent, and having your punches blocked will also deplete hearts. If you run out of hearts, you'll turn purple and you won't be able to throw another punch until you've dodged a few times cleanly, or you get knocked down. The number of hearts you have will vary depending on who your opponent is. Pressing down twice quickly will cause Mac to duck, but I rarely use this technique because it's difficult to do in the heat of battle. The advanced strategy for defeating most boxers will involve gaining stars. Pressing start while you're holding a star will cause Mac to throw a super uppercut, and it will do a ton of damage. The uppercut takes some time to throw, so make sure the opponent is stunned before you use an uppercut. Also, if you get hit, you'll lose a star. The most advanced technique I'd like to talk about right now is called the quick dodge. Whenever you press left to dodge, if you quickly follow it by pressing right, you'll move back to the center much faster. This will give you extra time to counterattack your opponent. You won't need this move to beat most of the game's opponents, but it will be critical for fighting Tyson. It will be worth your time to practice this technique early, so it will become second nature when you really need it. So our first opponent is Glass Joe, and this guy is a glass joke. I like to think that our trainer Doc Lewis set up an easy fight for us so that we can build up our confidence. In any case, as soon as the fight starts, just start punching this guy aggressively in the face. Whenever he blocks it, start punching him in the body. Whenever he blocks that, start punching him in the face again. Joe won't actually fight back at all until about 40 seconds have ticked off the clock, at which point he'll back up like he's gonna come and punch you. As soon as he moves back into your range, give him a left to the face, and he will kiss the mat. He might not get up from this at all. If he does, just resume the same plan. Just start punching his face. When he blocks it, punch the body again, and it should not be hard to knock him down 1 or 2 more times to finish him off. In any case, that's it for Glass Joe, and we'll be moving on to Von Kaiser. When we fight Von Kaiser, we're going to use a similar approach to what we did with Glass Joe. So aggressively start punching at his face. Whenever he blocks it, start punching at the body, and when he blocks that, switch back to the face. He does block a lot faster than Joe, but if you do this pattern a little bit, we should eventually earn a star. There it is. And once you get the star, let him take a swing at you, dodge it, and then press start to use your super uppercut, which will immediately knock him down. Now when he gets back up, he's going to try to throw his uppercuts. So he'll go down to either the left or right side. Whichever side he's on, throw a body punch on that side, and you'll earn a star. Then dodge his next uppercut, and hit him with the star punch to knock him out again. So here we go, this is going to be the third time. Just dodge it, press start, and Von Kaiser will go straight down to the mat. Now if you knock any of the fighters out in this game 3 times in the same round, you get a TKO, and that means they don't have a chance to get back up. And with that, we're on to the minor circuit title bout. Piston Honda is a little bit more difficult. At the beginning of the fight, we're going to use a technique called guard manipulation. So we're going to hold up to make him raise his gloves, then we're going to release up and throw a body punch, which should get through his guard and earn us an uppercut star if we do it correctly. So there it is. Once we have the star or 2, we can wait for him to throw a punch him once in the face, and then throw the uppercut at him. If you do it properly, we should be able to do a good bit of damage to him. Then we can just dodge another uppercut or 2 and send him down for the first time. Honda will get back up, at which point we can try that guard manipulation again, try to get another star on him, and then we'll just dodge whatever he throws at us and hit him with another uppercut. This time, it'll send him straight to the mat. Honda may get up for the 3rd time. If he does, we're going to get ready to do the same thing another time. So here we go, guard manipulation, star punch, wait for an opening, and use it. Oh, looks like we need to hit him one more time. Let's get him with another star. Bam. And that's it for Piston Honda. Now, before we move on, if you do see him do this crazy bunny hop move that he does, I'll show you what that looks like here. If he does this, as soon as he comes towards you, throw a punch into his body. A nice left to the body as soon as he comes down will give you an instant knockdown for this guy. So if the fight progresses a little bit long, maybe you don't get all those guard manipulations, that is a good way to get a free knockdown on him. And with that, we are the minor circuit champions. So let's put on our pink jumpsuit and start running behind Doc on a bicycle for this nice training montage. Once we get to the end here, we will receive our first password. If you were defeated by any of the boxers in this first set, I recommend going back and doing it again because those losses will carry through to the next round. And here we are with our fourth opponent, Don Flamenco. Don Flamenco is probably the easiest fight in the entire game. All we're going to do is we're going to punch at him, he's going to block it, throw an uppercut, which we'll dodge, so there we go, and then you're just going to start punching his face with this left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right pattern. If you keep doing that, he won't be able to break out of it, and you'll just deplete his entire life bar. Boom. He might not get up from this, but if he does, we're going to do the same thing again. Here we go. So, dodge, left, right, left, right, left, right. And that's a wrap. He probably won't get up this time, but if he does get up for the third time, we're just going to do it again. Nope. Flamenco stays down, and we are on to the second fight of the major circuit. Now, for our next opponent, we will need to change up our tactics a little bit. This is King Hippo. He weighs £pounds, which is kind of confusing for a boxing game. But what we need to do here is when Hippo attacks us, sometimes he opens his mouth. Sometimes he doesn't, like there. Whenever you see that open mouth, you need to punch him one time in the face and then start unloading on his body. Wait for the open mouth, wait, there it is, and then just start pummeling the body. You only need to knock down King Hippo one time. Even if it goes on to the next round or something, that's it. As soon as he hits the mat, he will not be able to get back up, and Mario will count him out for a KO. It's just that simple. With King Hippo defeated, we will move on to Great Tiger. Great Tiger is from India, and he can do some magical punches. But if we play against him properly, we won't have to face against those at all. Here's the strategy for Great Tiger. For the first 1 minute of the fight, we're going to be watching that gem on his turban. As soon as you see it blink, try to punch him in the face. If you do it a little bit late, he'll only block it and you have 76 hearts. But if you do it correctly, you'll earn an uppercut star. Once you have that uppercut star, you can just use it immediately. It will only take a couple uppercuts to send him down for the first time. When he gets back up, we've only completed 45 seconds of the round, so we're going to do a couple more of these, hopefully, and get another uppercut or two. And this time, whenever you hit him with an uppercut, he'll go straight down to the mat. Now, we may have time to beat him before the first minute elapses, but otherwise, he will start going down for uppercuts in the same way that Von Kaiser did, and we can interrupt those by punching him in the body, and then we'll get that third uppercut star we need to finally finish him off. If you get to 230 in round 1, he'll do the magic punches, so you just want to hold down, but as soon as he hits you, release down and press it again, and he'll do a couple of those. Once he stops attacking, he'll be stunned, and just a single punch will send him to the mat. If you don't beat him until the end of round 1, Or it goes on to round 2, we actually do the magic punch at the beginning of round 2 as well. And we're on to the major circuit title bout, Bald Bull. The real game starts here. Bald Bull is much more difficult than the other opponents. We're going to need to dodge his attacks and then counter him. So he starts out with these rolling jabs. You want to dodge to the left and punch him 1 time in the face for each jab. Then get ready for another one. Pretty soon he's going to do these uppercuts, and he waves his hands before he does each uppercut. If you can punch him in the face while he's waving his hands like that, you'll counter him and you'll gain a star. So that's how you get uppercut stars against this guy. We should definitely try to use the quick dodge maneuver here whenever we're avoiding Bald Bull's uppercuts. To do a quick dodge, whenever you press left to dodge, press right quickly afterwards so that you move back to the center more quickly. If you do that, you'll get extra time to punch Bald Bull for each uppercut, and instead of being able to only punch him like 5 times, you'll be able to punch him 7 times. You don't need to be able to do that to beat Bald Bull, but it will be useful to learn the quick dodge maneuver for the later opponents, so you might as well try to get good at it here. I knocked him down at around 2 minutes, so he was supposed to do his bull charge whenever the timer hit 2 minutes, but he didn't do it because he was on the mat or getting beat up at that time. So he's going to do it again at 2:30, and we need to know how to counter that move to beat Bald Bull. There it is. So see in the background, there's a camera, and whenever he attacks, the camera blinks, and that is your cue to throw a left body punch. So look for that camera flash. Don't even look at Bald Bull, just wait for the flash. It's in the lower right corner of the audience. Press the button, you'll beat the bull charge every time. And that's really all that you need to know how to do to beat Bald Bull. If you could beat that bull charge, you should have no problem defeating him. And that's it. We are the Major Circuit Champions. Bald Bull was just a small taste of what this game has to offer. The next fights are much more challenging, and the next fight that we have is against Piston Honda in the rematch. This time Piston Honda is a good bit more difficult, and there is a technique we can use to beat him called the max damage uppercut, where if you hold up while you press start to do an uppercut and then release up right before you would hit Honda, you'll actually do more damage and he won't be able to dodge it. It's not necessary to do to be able to beat him. If we can just dodge all of his attacks and just use some guard manipulation to get stars, so tap up to raise his guard and then release up and punch him. If you get the rhythm for this, I'm getting blocked a couple times here, you'll be able to grab some stars, and we can try to do some of those uppercuts on him. He won't probably dodge your first 3 uppercuts. Now, if the clock hits about 60 seconds right here, he's going to do the bonsai attack, and this time you see he didn't bounce around all over the place in the back of the ring. Whenever he comes down to attack you there, just counter him with the left punch to the body, just like we did at the beginning of the game, and he'll go down, and there's a good chance he might not get back up, and that's what's happened here. Piston Honda is done, and we are ready for our next opponent. Soda Popinski was actually called Vodka Drunkinski in the arcade version. Wonder why they changed that. In any case, this guy is actually pretty easy to beat if you know the trick. Whenever he comes out, he's going to do 2 hooks. We want to dodge and counter those, but after that, whatever he does for his 3rd attack, we want to press down and block it. If it's either a hook, we'll block it, but if it's an uppercut, it'll freeze him in place and we can throw a body punch and we'll get a star that way. Then we'll just use the star and it instantly knocks down Soda Popinski. Pretty sweet. So that's all we're trying to do in this. Try to dodge those hooks, look for an uppercut, and there it is. It freezes him in place when you press down, and then you're able to get that star. We hit him with the second star there, which knocks him out again. Now, the third time, I like to stun him with 2 punches to the face from an uppercut before I throw the third star. So, oh, okay, I actually just blocked it there. Oh, but I got him that time. Alright, so hit him twice and then do the uppercut. That way he won't dodge it. And that's it. Soda Popinski is easily defeated in round 1. Now, there actually are more rounds in this game. We will have to fight some people in round 2. Here, we're going to fight another opponent that we have challenged before. The rematch with Bald Bull. Bald Bull actually has some new tricks up his sleeve this time. One of them is he likes to wave his hands in the air and just wait for you to punch him in the face. You definitely want to do that because that's an easy way to get an uppercut star. This time when you're fighting Bald Bull, you won't be able to knock him out unless you finish him with an uppercut. If you just start punching down his health, he'll actually regenerate a little bit when you get to the bottom. So you'll want to make sure that you have some uppercut stars, so take those opportunities to get them whenever you can. You'll also have a chance to knock him out without an uppercut by countering his bull charge attack, which he's going to do at 2 minutes. So this time, there's no guy in the background with a camera to guide you on the timing, so we need to pay attention to how many hops he takes as he moves to the back of the ring. If he takes several hops, that means that he's going to do the longer bull charge, but if he just takes a couple hops, it's going to be the fast bull charge. That's definitely going to inform how quickly we need to counter it. So make sure to pay attention to the number of hops. There it is. This is the long one. So 1, 2, punch. And you're going to counter it with a left body punch. It can be difficult to get the timing to this, so you'll need to practice it. If you get taken out by the bull charge, just get back up and try to finish him off with an uppercut. You can do it. Another rematch, and this time it's with Don Flamenco. Flamenco is way harder this time, and he is way more annoying. He was one of the easiest fights in the early game, but this time he's actually tough. Now he comes out, you want to throw a jab right away so we can get a free star on him. It's possible to counter these jabs and punch him right in the gut at the same time, but it's difficult to get the timing of that. So you may just want to dodge them and get a couple shots to the face. Here we go. He's going to start with his taunt attack soon. Whenever he does the taunt, there it is, we'll need to punch into his guard. It may take up to 4 punches before he throws an uppercut, but whenever you get through, you want to do this pattern. Left, left, right, left, left, right, left, left, right. If you do that, you'll be able to put a lot of damage on Don Flamenco. Unfortunately, I don't think I'm going to be able to beat him here in round 1, so our goal needs to be to get his health down very low so that whenever we start up round 2, we can just knock him down right away. He will not restore any health between rounds. Although if we press select, we actually can restore our health between rounds. We need to decide if we want to do it now, so I'm going to press select and do it now, but I won't be able to do it before round 3 if I use it before round 2. So keep that in mind. If you might go to round 3, you may need that extra health, and I didn't get a lot back. So he starts with the taunts, dodge, left, left, right, and we take him down. Only took 17 seconds. Very good. We have the whole of round 2 now to try to get 2 more knockdowns on Flamenco. It can get pretty random though because of these taunt attacks. He might run out our hearts at some point, and then we'll have to dodge while we're purple, and that can waste a lot of time. Here we go, left, left, rights. And to the taunt attacks again. He's going to do this for the bulk of round 2. So hopefully he won't taunt us too many times. Left, right, left, right. Right, looks like a second knockdown is incoming, and there it is. Now I don't have a ton of time left. Towards the end of the round, he'll start throwing those jabs again like he does at the very beginning of the fight. And that could give me an opportunity to counter one of those jabs and get an uppercut. And with an uppercut, I think we can do it. So, this should be coming maybe at around 2 minutes and 30 seconds. There it is. Got it, and that's it. Now, if you're running out of time, just try to get his health very low so that at the start of round 3, you can knock him out fast again. And it's definitely possible to beat Flamenco in round 3 if you didn't get him in round 2. Mr. Sandman was the final boss in the arcade game, and he is a very tough fight, especially if you don't know what to do. He has the same body as Bald Bull, so he's going to come out and do some quick jabs just like Bald Bull does. We're going to dodge him just the same way and do one punch to the face, dodge, punch to the face, dodge, punch to the face. Now, the key mechanic against this guy is whenever he starts doing uppercuts, which he'll telegraph in a similar way that Bald Bull does by waving his hands, he does it much faster. So whenever you see that, that means the uppercut's coming. There it is. And this time, you need to counter it by punching him in the face, and then you just start punching him in the body. So one time in the face, and then more times in the body. Alright, he's very fast, so it can be tough. Try to use your quick dodges as well, if you know how to do them. And that very long delay means that he was about to do his Dreamland Express. You see a long delay from Sandman, and he will flash. That means he's going to do 3 uppercuts in a row. You need to try to dodge all 3 of them. If you get hit by one, make sure to try to dodge the other ones though. You don't want him to hit you with all 3 of those. One will do a bunch of damage, but if you get hit by all of them, you're definitely going down. The most important thing to know about that though is if you get hit by any of the 3 punches when he does the Dreamland Express, you won't be able to counterattack him. But if you can dodge all 3, you'll be able to counterattack just like a ton of times. We succeeded in our goal here. It's very, very difficult to beat Sandman in round 1, so we want to get his health very low for round 2, and, well, I got a good refill by pressing the select button. And here we go. He starts out with an uppercut. Thought I had him there. And knocked him out. 17 seconds, similar to what we did to Flamenco before. We have a lot of time now to take him out 2 more times. He's delaying a long time. Here comes the Dreamland Express. Dodge it 3 times, and then 1 in the face, and then just do as many punches in the gut as you can. Punch him, hit him in the body. Here it comes again, the Dreamland Express. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And he's down for the 2nd time. He's going to probably get up here, and if we go down at any point, the Dreamland Express is coming. So when he goes down, he'll get up and do the Dreamland Express. If we go down, we'll get up and he'll do the Dreamland Express. Be ready for the Dreamland Express. If you can beat his signature move, you'll be able to get a ton of damage in on Sandman, and he won't be that difficult. And that's it. It's time for the World Circuit title bout. Super Macho Man. No, it is not Randy Savage, unfortunately. Snap into a Slim Jim. Oh yeah. Nope. Super Macho Man is the same body sprite as Soda Popinski. So he has a similar moveset, but he also has some extra moves, and they're the ones that matter. He's also a lot faster. So Macho will come out, he throws some uppercuts. You'll want to do a quick dodge against those. So press left and then quickly press right to get back to center. That will give you some extra time to punch Macho in the face. And you're going to need as much time as you can in this one because it's very difficult to beat him in the first round, although it is certainly possible. Whenever you see him do a long delay, that means he's going to do one of his spin punches. So here it is. You just want to dodge that, and then you'll be able to hit him a whole bunch of times in the face. And it looks like, yes, we got him down one time. Now, whenever he gets up, he's going to do his super spin punch, and this one is going to require us to dodge it 3 to 9 times. Here it is, 1, 2, 3. Now, the last one that he does has a little bit different sound to it, and you'll also notice that the clock is frozen until he does the last spin punch. So those are two good ways to be able to tell how many spin punches he's going to do and understand when he's concluded with the spins. Whenever he gets up again, he's going to do another one of his spin punches. I find that he almost always does the 3 spin punch the first time, but the second time could be any number, so here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Alright, 7 spin punches. And now we're going to let him have it. Going to try to finish him off here in round 1. If we don't beat him in round 1, we want to make sure that he has very low health for round 2. And then we'll be able to take him out very quickly at the beginning of round 2. And it looks like I got him here, so we don't have to worry about it. But you want to be able to beat him in round 2 very quickly, take him out that first time, and then you'll have the entire round to take him out 2 more times. And he always does his mini spin punch at 1 and 2 minutes on the clock, so that will give you a good chance to get a lot of hits on Macho. And that's it. We've made it to Mike Tyson. Or Mr. Dream, depending on which version you're playing. Whether you're fighting Tyson or Mr. Dream, this is the most difficult fight in the game, not close. None of the other guys hold a candle to Mike Tyson. The key to winning here is surviving the first minute and 30 seconds. At the beginning of the round, Tyson will just throw these death haymakers. If one of them hits you, you'll go down immediately. So you need to do a quick dodge against it, so make sure to press left and then right to center yourself quickly. And make sure to counter with 2 punches to his face. He does random delays, so that can be very scary, but you need to make sure that you're punching him back because that will make him do fewer total uppercuts because you'll waste some of the time. And as soon as that time ticks over to 130, he'll start doing the more fair wink attack. So watch his face. Whenever you see his eye wink, do a quick dodge and punch him twice. Your goal here is to just try to get his health down very low so that at the beginning of round 2, we can just quickly knock him out, just like we did with a lot of the other fighters. Here we go, we got him down to very low health. It got me one time, I don't like that. And here it is, we survived to round 2. I'm going to press select so I can get my health refill. And at the beginning of round 2, he's going to do 10 of these jab attacks. What we want to do is press down to block it, and as soon as we block, we're going to throw a left body punch to get an uppercut star. There it is, and there it is again. Down one time, only spent 8 seconds on it, very good, we have an uppercut, but we do need to survive several more of these jabs. It looks like we probably won't have to deal with all 10 because we knocked him down once. But right there at about 30 seconds, he'll switch over to either the wink attack or he could do uppercuts. He'll work in both. I'm saving my uppercut star because at 1 minute and 30 seconds exactly, or right around there, he'll do his double eye blink attack. And if I throw an uppercut immediately whenever he does that double eye blink attack, I'll be able to get a whole bunch of damage on him, and then I'm going to need to block 4 times. There it is. Uppercut, 1, 2, 3, 4. Now I turned purple, but I still blocked. And that lets me keep my uppercut stars, although uppercut stars get me in trouble against Tyson. Sometimes I use them and he dodges and counters me. That's pretty scary. I'm going to try for it here, I think. Down. TKO. If you don't beat him in round 2, you can still beat him in round 3. So let me show you that strategy as well. Now, I'm going to assume if you didn't get it done in round 2, that Tyson's not going to have a lot of health to start round 3. We want to make sure that we get that first knockdown quickly. And he's going to come out here doing either the wink attack or uppercuts. Be ready for both. He does a lot more uppercuts here in round 3, which will give us a lot more opportunities to punch him in the face. And everyone has a plan until they get punched in the face. When he gets up here, be ready for the wink attacks or uppercuts again. He does have a new move for round 3. He usually does a very long delay before it. And what he'll do is 2 quick jabs followed by an uppercut. This is it here. Block, and you can counter to the body, just like we did at the beginning of round 2. So block the first jab, counter to the body. If you don't see the first one coming, try to block the second one and get 1 star, because whenever the clock ticks over 130, the next move that Tyson will do will be his double blink attack, and that's a great opportunity to throw an uppercut at him. There it is. And he hits the mat, TKO. Now, if you don't have an uppercut when he does the double blink, just punch him in the face and that will earn you an uppercut, but be ready to block the next 4 attacks that he does. And you can also beat Tyson by decision if you run out of time in round 3 and have at least 5,000 points. There's no shame in beating the game by beating him by decision. I do have one more tip if you're having trouble beating Tyson. The game is actually a lot easier to beat on an authentic original Nintendo. If you're playing on like the Switch or the NES Classic, I've noticed that the original NES plays just a little bit faster and the controls are a bit more smooth. If you have the opportunity to play this game on the original hardware, I highly recommend it. Well, I hope this video helped you finally defeat Tyson. If it did, give it a like, and make sure to subscribe for more videos, because there will always be more opponents to fight, and that's why we'll be back next week with another video game you can beat. Thanks for watching.